Hey, what's up, guys? It's Lord Coleman. I'm back again with another video, so let's get it. So, I've been thinking a lot recently, and I've came to some conclusions about most people, and I'm pretty much ready to talk to y'all about it, so prepare yourself. So essentially, most people will never lead, and they will never truly take control over their life. And let me tell you why. So, many years ago, they did an experiment with, I believe it was fleas or ticks, right? So they put no, I think it was fleas. They put a bunch of jumping fleas inside of like a jar, right? And they covered the jar up, right? So they took a bunch of fleas and they put them in a jar. And they were in that jar since they were born. So the jar only had a specific height that they could ever jump to. So after they matured into like adult fleas and ticks, right? They removed the top from the jar. And then they kept the jar right there on the table, right? And the fleas and the ticks, they never jumped higher than the height of the jar. Now, ticks can jump high as hell, I learned. So they had the physical capability of jumping that high, but mentally, they couldn't because they spent their adolescence in that jar. You get me? So that's what's going on with most people, right? Is that most people weren't really taught in their adolescence how to lead. So imagine that we're those ticks and fleas, right? And when we're younger, we were put in a jar. Or let's just say a metaphorical mental box, right? So when you're mentally at your most like open, they put you in a jar. And so now that you're an adult and you technically have the freedom to do whatever you want to do, simply because when you were younger and you were put in that jar, you'll never jump higher than what they set for you. So that's what I'm saying is like most people will never lead because most people just were never showed how to lead, for one, and for two, the systems that were put in place for us are really handicapping most people. Now you might be like, what systems are you talking about? I'm talking about the school system. So you see, the school system, as much as we need it, we most definitely needed a system that would allow people to be at least the minimum of intelligence to operate in society, yes, but it's a double-edged sword. How the school system is made and operates, it doesn't really give you the ability to really search out the things you want to do. They force you to do a lot of shit that you necessarily wouldn't want to learn, right? Like, for example, when I was in school, it was only two subjects I really loved. Well, you can say three. I really loved gym, of course. I really loved history. To this day, I'm a really good history buff. I still read books on history, I like the Book of Five Rings. It's based on Miyamoto Musashi's life. Amazing book. I recommend everybody read it. Even like if you're on the younger side, read it when you turn like 15, 16. This will change your life. They're not teaching you stuff like this in school, but I recommend everybody read this book. But I loved history. And if I could have just went to school and become like a history buff and learned only about history and writing, I would have done that. But that wasn't an option. But and reading, I loved reading, of course, but history and reading are kind of like neck and neck, really. Damn near almost the same class. But yeah, man, school doesn't promote you becoming who you want to be. School promotes you becoming another worker. It's even set in the same ways. Like, you go to school for 6, maybe 8 hours, 7 hours sometimes. You work an 8-hour day most times. You get a lunch break at school. You get a lunch break at work. You go to school 5 days out the week. You go to work 5 days out the week. You see, you get it? School was set up in a way that prepares you for the workforce. That's it. And so Their main goal isn't to make leaders and to make people that are in control of their life. Their main goal is to make successful workers, which I'll say, if that's their goal, which we all know it is, they've done an amazing job. Most people will never have their own business. Most people won't be able to take over their own life because you're not taught that. Now, I know you might be saying, well, okay, the school system didn't teach you that, right? That's something your parents should teach you. But how are my parents going to teach me that when they went through the same school system? You dig? So, like, it's some things that's out of your reach. Now, of course, it's a little bit easier to finally take that step to becoming like a leader and to have more control over your life nowadays because you have the internet. And I'll say the internet is one of the greatest inventions and one of the worst inventions of all time now because it gives you a ton of positive and a ton of negative. Now, the negative is there's a lot of information on the internet that just distracts you. It's a lot of entertainment. And the positive is that there's so much good information that literally a college degree is completely useless now because everything you need to know you can find on the internet readily. So if you really want to take that next step in your life, the information is there. Now, if you don't have the self-control and discipline to sift through the BS to get the good stuff, you're never going to get it. So it's a tough cookie to swallow. But I'll say, if you really want to take that next step in your life, you really want to lead, and you really want to be the boss that you feel like you can be, you have to find people in real life that's doing it. Find people. And I can say that I've had the pleasure of being around 3 men in my life that all were making money. But all of them had at least 6 figures. 2 of them were millionaires. And it wasn't as if I just met them, but I had the ability to be around them and to see how they operated and to see what they were doing to get where they got to. And after being around those 3 guys for a certain amount of time, I realized there are key things that all 3 of them had, which led to them being able to get what they wanted and to really lead and take control of their life on that type of scale. Now, I'm not saying that we can't take control of your life. You can't take control of your life on like a smaller scale, but I believe the only way that you can necessarily take control of your life is you have to be in control of how your money comes in. You have to take more like a in control approach of how you're getting paid. It's hard to be in control of your life when you work a 9-to-5 job. Virtually impossible. Because your boss tells you when you come to work. Your boss determines when you get paid. Your boss determines how many hours you get. Your boss determines what role you work at your job. Your boss determines a lot. Your boss determines whether you get fired or not. You see, so it's hard to really have a control over your life when you're just another worker. If you come to the job and say, hey boss, my daughter's graduating next week and I want to take out the country to Japan. I have money saved up, but I just need you to give me some time off. And you say, well, I'm sorry, Clarence, you can't go. I'm sorry. I need you here. It's peak season. I can't let you go on that trip. Even though, realistically speaking, he could easily let you go, but he's just not going to because he wants you there to stock them shelves so that when Big Bertha comes in there to get her Diet Coke, which she's been drinking for 20 years and she's still over 400 pounds, he wants you to be there to stock it. He doesn't want to stock it. Even though he could get another bloke to do it, he wants you to do it because you stock them the best. They look very straight on that shelf. But yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That you can't do certain things when you're an employee, but you can do whatever the hell you want when you work for yourself. When you work for yourself, you can make any moves that you want. Now, of course, you have to be responsible and you got to still plan things out. But if you take a loss on whatever you're doing, that's your loss. You can do that. Now, I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do that. You can say, hey, man, I'm going on a trip. He's on a trip. And he'll be back when he be back. And if the money's right and and your operations are good, you can do that. But what was I talking about? Yes, there are some key things that all three of those men had that I picked up on, which I realized leads to you being able to lead your life in a successful way and manner. One, consistency. All three of those guys were extremely consistent. I can't say that they were necessarily doing what they were doing at a very high level. That's not necessarily the case. They weren't doing it better than most people, but they were consistent with it. They didn't care how bad it was as long as they consistently got back out there to it. Two, they had a lot of connections. They knew somebody that did something. If there was something they needed done, they had a guy for it. And the only way that you can really get connections like that is you have to be very social. You got to talk to people. You got to say, hey, what's up, man? Oh, you do that? Oh, let me take your number down. Oh, when I need you, I'm going to call you. It wasn't like when it comes to like most people, we go to a company where we have to pay the company to do something. No, those guys know a guy. And because they only come to that guy, they get a reduced rate. So believe it or not, the guys that are actually running businesses or that are in control of stuff, they're not even paying the prices that you pay. Let that sink in. The average guy is paying way more than the actual businessman because you see, they know that, okay, this guy has his own business. This is repeat business for me. So if I give him a cut rate, in the long run, I'll make money. We'll both make out. Now, to you, a guy that's just going to like a regular business to get whatever you're getting, they're going to charge you full price because there's a possibility that you might not come back. The third thing, and they have no time for BS. None at all. No time for BS. I've seen people get cut off for BS. If you waste their time, if you bring nothing but negativity, if you are not a net positive in those people's life, you will not come back. You're gone. Straight up, you're gone. You will never come back. You have to bring some type of level of net positivity to their life. Those types of guys have mastered the idea of an asset and liability. Now you might be like, what's that? So pretty much in life, there are two things in life. It's either you're an asset, meaning that you bring more than what you take from me, or you're a liability. You take more than what you give to me. So those guys keep assets around them. They don't keep liabilities because when you're operating at that level, you can't afford to have liabilities around you. You can't afford to have guys working with you or around you or operating with you that are making your operations harder. You cannot have that. And I hate to say it, most people have liabilities around them. And I guess most of us do. We have somebody around us that brings nothing positive to your life. They are a complete waste to you. But because of some like emotional ties, or because, oh, that's your boy, you keep him around even though he makes crap worse for you. He doesn't make your situation better. He doesn't even try to. He or she. So that's the one thing they've mastered. I've seen people get kicked out. Like, man, get the F up out of here. Because, like, they weren't operating to the level that they should have been. And as soon as you get to the point where you're no longer an asset, you got to go. And I hate to say it, most people, if you were to just look over your life and take a list, did seriously, take a list, right? Where's my pencil? Here go my notebook, right? Let's just say you were to seriously take a list and say, you know what? Let me sit down and write every person that I deal with on a day-to-day basis, right? Just say, let me write down every single person's name that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. And like, you know what? Let me write down their name. Okay, so we got this person, 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 this person. Okay, and now let me write a chart. And next to their name, write everything that they do for you and that you do for them. Everything that you do for them, put it under liability. Everything that they do for you, put under asset. And if they have more liabilities than assets, that might be a person you need to let go. Or at the very minimum, you need to stop doing certain stuff for that person if you want to really keep them around. Because in that case, they are really, really killing you. And so that's another thing. And the last thing that they really do, which this is extra, they take responsibility for everything. These guys are extremely responsible. The level of responsibility these guys take is almost sickening. But then I've realized that that's the level of responsibility you have to take in your life if you want to really lead yourself to a better place. Because when you take that level of responsibility, some things just won't happen. So let me give you an example, right? Let's just say it's raining outside one day. There are two guys outside, and it's pouring down raining. And the first guy says, "Oh my God, it's raining again. I hate the rain. I hate it." Excuse me. "It's raining again. It's raining hard. How come whenever I'm outside, it's always raining?" And the second guy says, "Okay, it's raining. Damn. I should have checked the forecast. You know what? I should have brought my book bag. My book bag has an umbrella in it. You know what? I should have took a cab. You know what? I should have drove today. You know what? Next time when I wake up, I'm going to check the weather forecast. And if I see if it's going to rain today, I'm going to make sure that I either drive or I have what I need so I won't get wet." You see the two different mindsets there? It's two completely different mindsets. You see the first guy, he was wondering, why was this happening to me? Why is it raining? Why? The first guy is blaming everything on something else. He's not taking control of the situation. He's not saying, what did I do which led me in this situation? What can I do next time to get out of this situation? The second guy is saying, well, you know what? It's raining. It is what it is. It's going to rain sometimes. But what could I have done to mitigate the situation? What could I have done to make this an easier situation on me? I messed up. There's somewhere where I could have prepared for this, and I didn't. And so now these are my rewards. I'm getting wet. This is my consequence. So now, let me make sure that I'm prepared next time. And you know what? I'm going to just deal with the rain right now and move forward with it. These are the two mentalities that most people have. Most people complain that stuff happens to them, but they never want to sit back and look and see why stuff happens to them. That's one thing I realized with life, is that there are a lot of situations that could 100% be avoided. But people just want to say they're doing this to me, when in fact, it's something about you, something that you're doing, which is attracting these people, or that's attracting these things happening to you. It's like the guy that gets robbed at night. It's like, I walk at night a lot of times and I never get robbed. Maybe it's because it's how I carry myself and the energy I send off. But if I was to get robbed, I would say, damn, what did I do? What mistakes did I make which led to me getting robbed? Because it's something that I could have done which could have avoided this. You see? So that's what I'm saying. Be the second guy. Be the guy that takes responsibility for everything they can in their life. There are some things in life where it's sometimes like it's going to be out of your control. But if there are some things that you could have done to mitigate or to change what's going on, then you got to take responsibility for it. It will only make you stronger. I realize the guys that dodge responsibility are the weakest guys. They are the weakest. Because responsibility for people, it makes you stronger. Because the more you accept it, the more you'll start to move differently. You'll start to say, well, let me make sure this doesn't happen. And you'll stop getting in a lot of dumb stuff. A lot of stuff will not happen to you. The responsible guy doesn't get hurt. The responsible guy isn't caught up in dumb situations. The responsible guy isn't being cheated on. The responsible guy isn't Like, he's just not in a lot of situations that a lot of other people are in, because the responsible guy pays attention. The responsible guy is very aware. The responsible guy is he's doing things that are making sure that some things just aren't happening because he's taking responsibility. So again, learn how to lead your life. You only have one life. One life. You don't get any more lives. This is it, to my knowledge. This might be a whole game. I might doubt, like, listen, this could be a whole game. I can just straight, and I respond. But I don't know. So, until that's proven, bro, this is it for me. Yo, stand still. Thank you. Until I prove it, yo, this is it for me. I don't know how this transpires. So, this is my one life. So, if you're going to live one life, take the lead on your damn life. Be a leader. Be a boss. Be in control of what you can. Because why would you not want to be? You literally only have one life. One. Bro, you only have one life, man. Don't be no. Take control of your life. But yeah, guys. Peace.